Hey everyone, Aladdin's Castle here. I am with Hans Krueger, who just got top 64 at the latest Lorcana Challenge down in Chicago, hosted by PPG. Hans, how's it going?
I'm going. I'm
Awesome.
going.
You're going for sure, especially after that long weekend.
Yeah.
Before we jump into the deck and what you ran over the weekend, how was your overall experience with the Lorcana Challenge?
Overall, it was very positive. Everybody I met and played with was great, and it was my first event like that,
Nice.
and it was of that size. I'm relatively new to TCGs in general,
Okay.
so I didn't know what to expect, and it met my expectations. So
Ran pretty
yeah,
smooth and no issues really.
right, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So what deck did you end up running for the event, and why did you go with that deck?
I ran a Ruby Amber Mufasa deck. I've been playing Ruby Amber since set two.
Okay.
Um,
So you're pretty
Mufasa,
much just comfortable with
Mufasa,
it?
yeah, I'm comfortable with it. Mufasa speaks to me. A lot of players know who've played me know about the insane Mufasa flips that I get. So
Oh man,
even though I've tried to venture away from him, he keeps bringing me back, and
that's
I'll
awesome.
I'll wake up every night in a cold sweat.
Oh, that's
Mufasa.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
That's
yeah,
cool. Awesome. Well, why don't we go ahead and jump into the deck profile and
sure.
show us what you're in?
Okay. So sure. Yeah. So I run four Mulans, one drop Mulans,
Okay.
um, and then four one drop, two drop Mother Gothels.
Rapunzel targets basically.
Basically, I run the three drop Pegasus or
Mm,
two drop
okay.
Pegasus. That's kind of my hope to get the Diablo.
Gotcha. Yeah, like a tech card.
Yeah,
Also like the Emerald Pegasus maybe too.
it works wonders on that, and I don't feel as bad because he only has one
Mm,
willpower to get
okay.
rid of him. So
Right.
he doesn't really do much besides that.
It's a good trade.
Um, I started playing Julieta from four of
Nice.
them
Okay.
as a target for the Mulan,
Okay.
so that I can kind of go one Mulan, two Mother Gothel, three heal Mulan, and then four heal Mother Gothel with the Rapunzel.
That's
That's
awesome.
going to come
So
up soon.
consistent draw power now because of her.
Right. Before I was running Tinkerbell's at four, the amber one, and
Okay.
it just,
Oh yes, right.
which is like Be Our Guest on a Body.
Okay.
Yeah. But now I have more options, so it's great.
Right.
So I run two Peter Pans. He costs for two. He's got rush, but I rarely use him for the rush.
Okay.
He's really more of a shift target for later on.
Okay.
Um, but he's
Shift
also,
pan.
but he's also a good aggro on three because he quests for two. So if
Okay.
I'm in a jam, I can actually use
You
him for
just quest
that.
away.
Yeah. And then I play three of the three drop uninkable Sisus.
Okay.
This is a Haram killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's really good. Sisu's really good against Emerald Steel as well. There's taking out the one drop Pegasus, things like that. One drop Diablo, so they can't shift on it, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And then it also allows me to have a shift target for the 8 drop Sisu on turn
Mm.
6.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Nice.
I play two Prince Eric's.
Wow, you don't see this too often, I think, in any Ruby deck.
And
Why the Prince Eric?
it's a steel killer.
Okay.
A lot of people like to play grab your swords.
Mm.
Against steel, my strategy is to go as wide as possible,
Okay.
and I like to have him on there um, as a kind of a insurance card
Yeah.
for grab your swords. He dies, I get to kill something. I also have found him very useful against the 8 drop Sisu
Sure.
because he dies, I can take the Sisu out as he goes.
Right. That's true. I
So
like him a lot. He kind of makes your opponent play awkwardly because now they have to deal with it. Then
yes,
they have to lose their card too. So like you could get big targets like Tamatoa maybe even,
right,
or like Big Cinderella. So yeah,
correct,
he's
yeah.
he's very annoying to deal with for sure. I like that card.
Yeah, and then of course the lady of the hour,
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel.
Yep.
Yeah, um, she'll keep you in games. I feel like more than Mufasa sometimes.
Okay,
You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
like the Mufasa deck is all about card draw and getting cards in your ink almost every turn. If you stop
Okay.
putting cards in your ink,
Mm,
you kind of will see the deck stall, because if you don't flip those big guys
right.
off the Mufasa, you got to pay for them
Okay.
somehow, and
Yeah, you'll lose that
and if you don't
tempo,
have the
and
cards, you can't do it, right?
yeah, that makes sense.
And then of course,
Yep.
I play 4 Mufasas. What can you say about
Mufasa
him?
the deck. That's right. You got to.
You got to play him. I play 4 Mauis
Okay.
as removal.
How many times did you flip Maui out of Mufasa during the tournament over the weekend?
0, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome. It does
Uh,
feel bad though if you do flip it right.
it does. Sometimes, because
Okay.
sometimes it's not bad to just have a body with those stats on the
Sure.
board to know you could take out some people.
Sure. Sure. Okay.
So, a controversial one was the three
Wow. Okay.
six drop Mulans.
Elite Archer Mulan.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell us about this card.
So she's a great shift target for the 1 drop. I try to only play her against red as a shift target.
Okay.
If I can't shift her, I usually ink her. But
Okay.
against steel, especially emerald steel, she's great even just without the shift,
Sure.
because a lot of cards in emerald are pretty low with their willpower. So
Okay.
you can take out a few of them, take out the Buckies with them if you want.
Okay.
And with the willpower, she doesn't die to a lot of other things like Zeus.
Okay, right, yeah. So
You
the,
got
the
a
six
Zeus,
health is
right?
strong as we saw with Hiram.
Right,
So you'd still find value over her even if you hit her off Mufasa. You'd
right.
still be able to at least
Yeah,
target a couple characters.
I did hit her off against Dewey, and he was able to brawl her. So
Okay.
she's brawlable, which is not great,
Right.
but
Brawlable, Medusable, all that
right.
stuff. But
But
she
that
could come in clutch and wipe the board
correct.
depending on the matchup.
And I play the
Ah, that's
Pirates Bane.
spicy.
Yeah,
That's the shift target.
that's a shift target.
Awesome.
This is the card that people don't know what it does, and
Yeah.
it throws people off a lot. Um, Evasive, shifts on 4, quest for 2, and a great stat line with 4 challenge and 5 willpower.
Okay.
It's actually a good Mufasa hit
Okay. Yeah, because it's evasive.
because of the
I
evasive,
see.
right? So if they don't have, a song or something like that that can take it out,
Right.
it's going to stay on the board after the Mufasa hit, and you're usually going to be able to quest for 2. I also like against Steel, a lot of Steel decks play Shmi and Captain Hook.
Okay.
He takes no damage from pirates.
Oh, that's spicy too. Yeah,
So
that's right.
so it's kind of nice to
Sneeze,
be able to,
piglets,
right, all
all that.
those they get wiped out with him, and he's come in clutch
Wow, okay.
a few
That's cool.
times.
That's
Yeah,
multiple uses.
yeah,
So in your older iterations of Mufasa, you ran some evasives like Pongo and Goofy. So this is pretty
correct,
much the replacement of it.
right,
Yeah, because you got the
exactly,
evasiveness on it. So
right.
that's nice.
I run 3 Tremaines, or 2 Tremaines, sorry.
Okay. Bucky.
Obviously,
Yep. Ward.
uh, I feel like she's better than Madame Dusa,
Okay.
and even if you have multiple targets, at least you're getting one target off.
Sure. Oh
My
wow, this one.
my
Okay.
one of
Stitch.
Spice.
Super spice.
Great stat line, and that's really, and he quests for 3. So
Okay. Yeah.
he,
Aggressive quester and dodges Medusa.
and honestly, I took Chernobog out and put him in
Okay.
because when he drops, people don't necessarily aren't as scared of him.
Okay.
Okay,
So he's
so
not
when
as targeted.
right, Chernobog comes out, people are immediately like, I need to get rid of this
Okay.
somehow.
Okay.
With this, they'll think about, but then
Right.
he'll quest for 3 and make them pay. And
Okay. This deck has a lot of mind games. Yeah, I could see that with the Prince Eric, with the Stitch.
yeah,
Definitely throw people off.
for some more card draw, play Surfer Stitch.
Okay. Yep.
And I actually really do like playing him off a Mufasa hit, especially if you have if you have 2 or more characters on the board,
Okay.
and you can draw a card. It's hurt a lot of people actually. Like, I can remember I hit him off of Mufasa, and then was able to draw Tremaine and clear that person's board
Okay.
because of it. So
It sticks. It's
it
so hard to
sticks.
get rid of.
Right, that butt.
Yeah, the 8.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And then
Sisu.
the 8-drop Sisu. So great shift target, wipes out Emerald Steel.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you can get it out on 6, you can definitely take a lot of other characters out against any color really.
Sure.
Came in clutch just as a quester at the challenge. I had 2 of the 3 drops out at one game. I was at 2 of the 3 drops out at. I was at 16 lore.
Okay.
And didn't have an answer to take those out because they're evasive.
Right.
And the guy just basically said, "I just hope you don't have the big Sisu." And I threw it down, quested for 4, and won the game. So
Okay. That's awesome.
it's coming clutch in many different ways.
Sure.
The removal's great too.
Of course. Yeah.
And then I play 4 dragons.
4 dragons. Okay. How many times did he hit this off Mufasa?
A few.
Wow.
Actually, no, it was 3. Sorry, I lied.
Okay.
3 dragons.
Edit 3. Updated versions 4.
Yeah, updated versions 4.
Okay.
Yeah, just throughout my whole experience playing Mufasa, I've probably hit dragons, I don't know, 80% of the time.
It's worth the risk. I mean, yeah, you get one of the best cards in Ruby, you got to play it. So
right. So
if you could cheat it in, that's the best bet.
Exactly. And then to the non-character cards, which is probably the most controversial thing.
Okay.
I know people were on the line were talking about this.
Good card.
3 brawls, great removal. Obviously, it's in there for the Diablo,
right.
But it comes in clutch with Flynn's and other stuff.
Ursulas, Ariels, all kinds of meta cards.
And then the reason why I only play 2 Tremaines is because I play 3 Be King Undisputed.
Great card too.
To be able to do that on 4 is so awesome.
Sure.
And also to be able to play, your Mufasa on 5 and then sing it with your Rapunzel and sort of like help keep the board pretty clear and make people have to use that Be Prepared or some kind of hard removal for the Mufasa is it's a game changer.
Even more irony when Mufasa sings this song. If he's ever done that. So.
I have.
That's awesome.
And then the last one, the coup de grace.
One of Be Prepared.
How
did this play for you for the weekend?
It actually came in clutch in the first game.
Wow, okay. Against what deck?
Emerald Steel. I was stuck at 7 ink.
Okay.
And I had 2 of the 8-drop Sisus in hand. And I was just living on a prayer.
Wow.
And it was a misplay too. I drew a brawl. He had just put a Diablo out. And because I drew the brawl, my brain just went to play the brawl to kill the Diablo. And then, because of that, I could have just inked it and played the 8-drop Sisu, but then I went to the next turn and he kind of got cocky and just put everything on the board.
Wow, he did not respect.
And then
he probably thought you didn't play Be Prepared, that's why. Okay.
Right, and so then I top decked it and threw it down.
He was probably so upset.
He was.
Jeez, that's GG. That's GG.
Yep, but it comes in clutch every once in a while,
That's
so
awesome.
You can't get rid of it.
Yeah, that's 7 non-characters, right?
Correct.
I think that's a good number.
I don't know. People think there's one too many, but
you're the Mufasa player, so I mean you got top 64, so it doesn't matter what they say. Once they top, they could talk.
Exactly.
That's awesome. How many cards were in your deck again? By the
60.
way, 60. So clean 60.
Yeah.
You know how many uninkables you had? Close to 14, 15 maybe.
14, 15. Yeah.
Okay.
Too many.
Too many.
Yeah.
Still too many for you.
Yes.
Awesome. So that is the 60 cards right there.
Yep.
Cool. Just a couple of questions I had regarding the deck. So, Mufasa decks to me are some of the hardest decks to build because you have so many characters that you could include.
Yeah.
What was your thought process into choosing certain characters and their ratios? Like, was it because of specific matchups that you were worried, or was it because you were so used to playing these characters in the past that you chose them? Like, what made you decide on those specific top end characters for the deck?
I think it was a little bit of both. It was definitely the matchups that I've been seeing, the rise of red, blue, and emerald steel, and needing to have, you know, some tech choices for those decks. But a lot of it is just the greatest hits. You know, the dragons. Peter Pan has come in clutch for me a lot.
Okay.
Surfer Stitch, that kind of thing. So it's really been more about what has worked for me in the past, regardless of what my matchup was.
Okay, nice. Another question here to pick your brain. Were there any matchups where you opted not to play Mufasa? Like we know the non-banish effects like Hades and Let It Go, but did you play Mufasa to kind of bait that out still, knowing that they do play their cards, or do you kind of avoid Mufasa in specific matchups?
I never avoid playing Mufasa because even if you use a Let It Go or a Hades, now I have more ink. Now I have more power behind the deck to play those higher end characters.
Okay.
Plus, that's just one less one you have, and
to remove your other characters.
Right. And I can play more Mufasas. I always have more Mufasa.
Okay. You just don't care. You're just gonna be
No.
You're like I'm gonna replace it anyway.
Exactly. And to be honest, like if you play Mufasa scared like that, you're gonna get burned by Mufasa. And I feel like that's what the people who don't like to play Mufasa decks, that's what happens, is that they're too conservative.
Okay.
Sometimes you're gonna hit a non-character.
Right,
it's okay,
Okay.
move on. It's not gonna always turn into a dragon, but when it does, it's great. And
Be aggressive, don't mind. I mean, that's the play style in this one.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, amazing job. I'm really glad you were able to push through with a deck that wasn't even considered like a top 3 or even top 4 pick. So it really shows that like anyone can top with a deck if they put the time and effort and the grind in the deck, and they could be really successful. So nice job on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Now moving on to future things here. With the set championships coming up, do you see yourself just grinding your Mufasa deck, or do you think you'll be trying something new for these events?
My Mufasa deck will definitely evolve and be ready for the set championships. Like I said earlier, like I try to move away, and he just keeps pulling me back in.
Right.
I'll have a couple days where it's just horrible, and they all turn into Mother Gothels. But
Sure.
Then 2 days later, they all turn into dragons, and you're riding that train again. You're like, yep, I'm back on the Mufasa train. It's gonna happen, and you just kind of have to know how to build it, and not be afraid to not hit on him, and not get frustrated when you don't hit on him. And I've always thought, like, if I'm playing him and I'm trying to turn him into a dragon, then I've already lost. Like,
right.
He's not. He's more of a get out of jail free card. He's not gonna take control of the game completely. And I mean, he can sometimes, but you're usually ahead in that if that's the case. So I try not to think too much about those kinds of things, or else you wouldn't have fun. That's the greatest thing about playing a Mufasa deck. Even when you lose, you have fun. So
yeah, right. That's awesome. Well, I know everyone in Chicago is going to be looking out for this deck. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just keep running with it. I'm sure you're going to run with that for the rest of the Lorcana life. So that's
probably,
okay.
Yeah. Until something better comes.
Right. All right. Well, before we end the video, would you like to make any shout-outs?
No, absolutely not.
Shout out to Mufasa?
Well, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. Well, Hans, it's been amazing. Thank you again for the deck, and we hope to see you in future events.
You too.
Mufasa, she told me come over mi casa, su casa. Her name was Selena, we got really hungry, but she's on my pasta. Me gusta, we finished the dinner, then hop in the Mazda. We went to Chipotle, don't listen to Biggie, but call me Big Papa. Mufasa. No comprende, she don't even know what I said, no explaining, no habla.